Hello, and welcome back to another episode on Born to Talk with Callanthea. So, today's episode, I'm actually recording this near the end of 2023. And I've been doing my own kind of reflection on what I want for the new year in 2024, but something that just seems really relevant to my moment right now. But also, I have thought about this, plenty of times, is that we really need to start being our own best friend. And that's what I want to focus on as well for next year, because there's many reasons why we should. And I do think that in order for us to improve ourselves, we really need to be able to treat ourselves like we are our own best friend. And inevitably, that's going to help us lead happier and healthier lives. So, this is why I'm going to be talking about this today. And what I wanted to do is just kind of break down really, why should we even be our own best friend? What does that even look like? And what can we really do going forward? So, I'm going to start off by talking about why should we even be our own best friend? Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is that we actually can't rely on other people, even if we want to be able to rely on other people. We're always going to get let down by someone that we love, and that is just life. So, if we can't rely on other people, then maybe we can start to rely more on ourselves. That's something that we have control over. And it is going to give us more peace if we can rely on ourselves and stop trying to rely on other people. That doesn't mean to say that people shouldn't treat us with respect or shouldn't want to, be kind to us, but it does mean that we stop stressing about controlling other people treating us well when we could just focus more on doing that ourselves. You probably noticed, if a friend comes to you for advice, you will give them advice, and you will really be on their side. And if anyone mistreats them and they're talking about it and they're upset about it, you probably just say, oh, tell that person to fuck off, right? It's always just that simple. And, it's easy to stand up for someone else that we care about. But quite often, what happens when we focus on ourselves, we don't actually stand up for ourselves. We treat ourselves with disrespect. We, really think that we're not good enough. And we can start to go on a downward spiral, even though we would never treat a friend like that at all. So I really do think that once we can become our own best friend, we don't rely on other people as much. We focus on ourselves, we rely on ourselves, and we make sure that we treat ourselves better. And essentially, when we do treat ourselves better, it's going to feel really good inside. And that is something that I think is, fundamental for self improvement. If we feel good on the inside, we really like who we are, respect who we are, then we also start to develop a tougher skin, right? We can filter out those toxic people, filter out any bullshit, and we can really just sort of anchor ourselves in who we are and recognize that we're always worthy and that we are our best friends. If we want to be our own best friend, we can absolutely be that. And nobody can really stop us, because if you think about it, we don't actually have power over anybody else or even pretty much anything else. The only thing we can control are our own thoughts, our own actions, how we choose to respond in situations. And that includes how we kind of respond to ourselves and, maybe mistakes that we've made or just anything really, just really trying to treat ourselves with utter respect. And that is why, we want to be our own best friend, because it's going to be empowering, it's going to feel good, and it's going to feel more of a relief when you focus on yourself and stop focusing on other people. Because you cannot change other people, okay? People will change if they want to change. And there's something really sort of inspiring about going within and recognizing that you do have that worth and that peace that comes with that feeling as well. And it doesn't matter what anyone else says. Honestly, it's so empowering. And it was quite a few years ago that I read a book called I Heart Me. I had like a heart symbol, written by David Hamilton. And that was really useful because at the time I was going through quite a lot of insecurity and I needed to start treating myself like my own best friend. I don't have the book on me anymore, unfortunately, but it really did help me at the time. And I noticed that when I started thinking more positive thoughts about myself, I started to pull myself out of the kind of rut that I was in. I really just felt so much lighter and this kind of heaviness just drifted away. And it helped me kind of be more open to other people. And I just felt so much better within myself. And I think it's natural in life sometimes just to fall down and then we need to get ourselves back up again and remind ourselves of what is actually important. So I do think that this is something that comes back around for me, and maybe for some of you that might be listening to this as well, that there is value in being our own best friend. Okay. So, with those points that I've kind of mentioned there, that we don't have to rely on other people, we can focus on ourselves, we're going to feel so much better and more empowered within as well, and gain a tougher skin for anyone that's not very nice to us. So, all of that is beneficial. Okay. But what does it actually look like being our own best friend? Well, we are all different. So you might think that, you should do something that's going to help you be your best friend when I think, oh, that wouldn't really work for me. But ultimately, you're going to treat yourself with respect. So whatever respect looks like to you. So it might be that you think, right, rather than looking in the mirror and moaning about how ugly I look today or tired I look today, I'm not going to say that because I would never say that to a friend. What I am going to say is something more positive to counteract that negative thought. And just remember that my value is within and not on the outside, right? It might be something simple like that. It might be that you want to kind of take better self care. So you have more boundaries, you say no to people, you don't constantly say yes, and you choose to look after yourself because it's the right thing to do for you in that moment. And it might be that you want to go out and do exercise, maybe you want to have a nice long bubble bath, go to a spa, whatever is, going to make you feel good. You are treating yourself like your own best friend. And when we have those really bad moments or really bad days where we just want to judge ourselves and just kind of wallow in self pity, really think, is this what I would say to a friend? Would I say, oh, now look what you've done, and oh, you've made this mistake again, and oh, you shouldn't have probably done that? And we probably wouldn't judge them, half the amount that we judge ourselves. And I think that's so important that we need to stop being so hard on ourselves, okay? And the words of Jess Glynn, she's absolutely fabulous. We should not be hard on ourselves. So it can be harder to achieve and easier said than done. Okay. But it's a work in progress. And if you are fed up with the negative thoughts, this inner self critic that you have, and the way that you feel on the inside, you can make a choice, right? We all have a choice to treat ourselves better and to be our own best friend. And that in itself is really empowering. So, what I'm going to do now is just kind of outline some simple steps for you to really sort of try to think about this so you can start to become your own best friend. And the first step that I would say is so important is actually make the choice to become your own best friend. Once you've made that choice, you're already setting that intention, okay? And that is really powerful. So make that choice, get clear on what you want. You want to be your own best friend. Once you've made that choice, you're then going to be ready to start actually becoming your own best friend. So I would write down some ways that you normally disrespect yourself and then think about the alternative. How could you flip that and turn it into respect instead? It might be the way you speak to yourself. It might be the words you actually use to speak to yourself. It might be the actions. Maybe you've got some bad habits you want to let go of and you feel like you're disrespecting your body or something like that. Really just think, how are you disrespecting yourself in life and what would the alternative look like? And then think, what are the things that you're doing in your life that is actually making you sad or bringing you down or giving you some sort of unease or discontent? And then again, think about the alternative. What are some of the things that you can do that will actually make yourself feel better? What would that look like? How would it make you feel? So once you've kind of got those things down, you're going to really start to see just how much maybe you do show disrespect or do make yourself feel bad. But then you can see how clear it is to sort of actually treat yourself with more respect. And honestly, when you just focus on doing that, you're going to see a massive difference. You're going to feel so much lighter in who you are. Um, and it'll get to the point where you don't even have to really consciously do those things to show yourself respect or to enjoy yourself, because you probably will just naturally do that, or you'll feel so much lighter within yourself that you'll ooze positivity. You'll feel really good, feel more confident, and therefore have thicker skin when, other people might come at you and things like that, because you know that you are worthy. You know that you treat yourself with respect and love and kindness and fun. So, I do think that's really, really important. And if you are listening to this and you're thinking, I do feel a little bit lonely, or I do feel a little bit, like I'm my own worst enemy sometimes, please know that you are enough. Okay, just you. You are enough. And nobody can really make you feel otherwise except yourself. Okay, you are enough, and it's time that you actually really believe that as well. Um, and I'm going to be doing this as well because there's times when I don't feel like I'm enough, and I know that it's important to be my own best friend. So I want to take that with me into 2024 just to make sure that I am still doing the positive things and not letting those negative things kind of slip in. So, I really do hope that you found some comfort from this episode. I feel like I've waffled a little bit today. I think it's my Christmas brain. There's just been a lot going on. But I really do hope that you do take something from this. And again, like I said, please know that you are worthy. And I really do wish you all a very happy new year. And if you listen to this in 2024, I hope it's a really good one for you, and that you are treating yourself like your own best friend. So, thank you very much for listening. Remember, stay true to you, and hopefully, I'll see you soon.